YouTube, it's your boy Cuz Barber. We back with another banger. So in this video right here, we're gonna be doing ball fades. You can see I'm just combing the hair in the direction that it grow, and then I'm gonna jump right in it with my wall cordless seniors. Lever fully closed on that 1.5 guard, and as you guys can see, I'm just trying to get my client's hair as even as possible to their desired length. And sometimes you're not going to get all the hair in one stroke, so go back over your work to make sure you keep everything even and consistent, because that's what's most important. You don't want any choppiness, and it'll just make everything easier in the long run when you start fading as well. You won't have to worry about unnecessary bulk if you get everything even. Alright, so here I started out with my Andy Slimline Pro Li, and I set my ball guideline at the bottom of that vertical bar, and as you guys can see, I spent the chair and did the same guideline in the back, just keeping it consistent, as well as the other side. Now I have my wall cordless magic clips, and I'm going in with my lever fully closed with no guard. So I'm leaving the bottom just to show you guys the transition. But yeah, that's the lever fully closed. Now I come back with my wall cordless seniors, 1.5 guard, and that is the desired length on top, but that's just knocking down any bulk for the fade purpose that maybe I didn't get when I was putting them down to the desired length. So I'm just work that lever fully open to close, and yeah. Next, I'm gonna come back with my 1 guard on my K-Made clippers, and you guys just gonna see me really set my foundation in for this fade from top to bottom. Watch my wrist, see how consistent I'm keeping it. I'm not overstepping my boundaries. I'm working that lever in certain spots that need it more than others. Alright, so right here is where I come in with the 1 guard fully open on my K-Made clippers, and as you guys can see, I'm not going above that first guideline. This fade will only have that 1 guideline, and then the rest will be detail work. As you guys can see, it's slowly but surely is getting there as I'm working my lever fully closed and just keeping my wrist motions consistent. And as you guys can see, it's really coming in. And right here I'm using my corners really heavily because I don't want to push up the fade or any of the progress I made with the 1.5 guard. So therefore, that's why I use my corners. Using your corners as a barber is very vital to not messing up and not having to refade and chasing the fade, because once you chase the fade, then you're more likely not giving the client what they asked for. So just stay disciplined and just trust the process, because that fade will come out. Don't be discouraged if it takes you an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, however long it takes you to give your best work is all that matters. Time will come with it. Don't worry about that. You just give the best work that you can to each and every person that sits down in your chair. As you guys can see right there, I got the lever fully open using my corners, and yes, I did go higher, but that's because it's equivalent to the 1.5 close, which is the desired length. So technically I'm just using a thinner guard but the same length, so I'm able to detail just a little more precisely. Right here I got my Andis Masters with the double magnetic purple guard. That is the 1/16. That's my 0 guard. So as you guys can see, I'm just on this one, I'm for sure, just staying on that line. I'm not going any. I know that's not going to get that last line out. The only reason I'm doing that is just to soften that line up, so that way it makes it easier when I go in with my lever open with the Masters. My task won't be as hard. I'll be able to flow right into it, being that I set myself up for the success, by debulking before I just go in and take all that weight off. On my channel, you guys can expect to see a lot of different techniques on how I fade. I won't necessarily fade the same exact way on each and every video, because each client is different. Their desired hair type, just all of its preference. So really just whatever will satisfy the client and give them my best work. So sometimes I'll fade up, sometimes I fade down. I can't necessarily say that I do one set in stone thing, but I do have a system no matter which one I use. But back to the video, as you guys can see, I'm just using my end is masters. I'm combing after each stroke, making sure I keep that canvas clear and I can see my fade. And right there, as you guys can see, a lot of people will consider this fade done, but I feel like it's not even done yet. I still got a whole bunch of detailing to do to it to really bring this fade to life. When you guys see it with the enhancements on it, it's going to be a wrap. And yeah, so I'm thinking about, we're going to name this video Nothing Was the Same Fade, because it's that Drake fade, you know what I'm saying? But just notice how I'm really detailing and using those corners and just nitpicking each spot that I want. Look how consistent that fade is straight across. And then I come back with my one guard on my K-Mate clippers. The only reason I used the one guard, knowing that the one guard wasn't going to completely create the best transition for this fade, the reason I went in with the one guard is so that I can preserve some of the hair and the darkness that is there, instead of just jumping into the half guard on the wall guard system. Because if I do that, and then if I accidentally go up too high or apply a little bit too much pressure and it takes off some of the hair, then I've therefore lost progress in my fade. So that's just an extra step, an extra precaution that I take when I use this method to fade. You know, I just want to always, it's better safe than sorry, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to take off too much hair, you know, because you can't put it back. Less is more, you know, so just keep that in mind when you guys are fading. Same thing with the edge up, you know, you don't want to push nothing back. Everything less is more. The naturalness is subjective, you know, to the barber, but just try and keep it as consistent as possible. But as you guys can see, before I started using my corners on my magic clips again, I had a very, very, very faint line that one guard had left in his head. And I didn't even go to the half guard yet. At this point right now, I'm detailing still. I still see some flaws in that fade that I need to get out. And right here, I'm using the raking method. I found that method really efficient for coarse hair, so I decided to implement it on all hair textures. You know, I really feel like that keeps all the hairs from standing up, and it gives it a smoother look, a softer finish, so that way it lays down with the fade. When you brush your hair, you know, a few days after you got your fade, all those hairs are laying down. They're not sticking up looking wild like you ain't had a haircut in 2-3 weeks. So no, this is how I create longevity in my fades. And I get a lot of clients that return to me and they let me know, you know, that, hey man, I ain't had no fade last this long, or your detailing, like it really stands out to them, and I promise you the client will notice that. So right here, I finally going with my half guard, and as you guys can see, I'm doing I'm just barely using it. I don't want to mess up anything. I'm just flicking. Notice how I'm not staying on the head too long with that half guard, and the reason is because I know I'm detailing. I'm not fading with that half guard. I'm literally only detailing, and that's why my brush stroke's so quick, my wrist motions while I'm fading, because alright guys, now we're on the back of this fade. As you guys can see, I'm just keeping everything consistent, and I will follow the same exact steps on the back and on the side. So I'm gonna really just let you guys watch. But I just want to let you guys know that I have a lot in store for you guys. I've been working on a lot. You know, I've gotten my new cape. That cape really means a lot to me. Like I said, I got the CBR details on the collar, you know what I'm saying? So you know it's a CBR certified fade when you see the cape. But anyways, yeah, I got a lot of new things coming for you guys. Soon I'll be launching my website, that way you guys can get merch worldwide. I'll also be having a giveaway coming soon. I'm gonna become more active on my merch page and just interact with you guys a whole lot more, and just keep dropping these bangers for you. As you guys can see, my content is getting 100 times better. As you guys can see, man, y'all remember when I was doing YouTube cuts at the crib. You know, now we in the shop. I got a professional setting. I got everything set up for success. as I stated, you know, my portfolio on my Instagram page, I'm just getting everything in a really nice liking. So with that being said, I'm gonna leave my merch page down in the bottom right hand corner for you guys. If you don't mind, just go ahead and click that follow to be updated with all my merch releases. I will be doing a giveaway for some merch, and stay tuned for those details. And yeah, man, CBR team, we really getting it. Shout out to my manager. She making sure I keep everything in line. That's really my right hand man. That's who I go through, you know what I'm saying, before, and just make sure everything just, you know, is right. As you guys can see, that fade really coming along. Remember, just follow the same steps. What you do to one side, what you have to do to what you do to the bottom, do to the top. It ain't rocket science. So yeah, like I said, just stay consistent with everything you do. So if you fade up, stay consistent. Keep those guidelines the same, exact same. You fade down, whatever you do, just stay consistent with it. As you guys see, I set the ball guideline all the way around, but if you notice, I didn't have to fade around the whole head in order to keep everything consistent. I'm at a point now where I understand what it takes to keep everything consistent, and I just trust the process and, you know, follow my steps as I previously stated. I'm a visionary, so when the client's in my chair, you know, we having that consultation and he's letting me know, you know, what his not expectations, but what he would like, you know, in the fade. I go above and beyond to give them everything and more, you know, and what they're looking for in their desired haircut, you know. I mean, not everybody has a perfect canvas, you know. That's one thing I do want to speak on to every upcoming barber. Do not get discouraged from anything you see on YouTube. You know, a lot of YouTubers, or I can't say a lot, but I've seen some YouTubers only use models for their tutorials that are essentially a perfect model, or a good hair model, I guess I should say. And I mean, that's not realistic. And we live in a world, you know, where nobody's perfect, so someone's always going to have something wrong. And, you know, with you being the artist, with you being the barber, and having your own, you know, that's what really just sets you apart. So as you guys can see, I'm just finishing up with that fade, and I'm gonna speed it up when I get on the other side, and then we're gonna head straight into the lineup. But I promise you, you know, just now starting to fade, been fading for a while, don't get discouraged from the next man's. You know, you never know who may see your work, or you just never know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can, word of mouth is the biggest, you know what I'm saying? That's even bigger than passing out cards. Like, each client that gets in your chair, and when they get out, they're a walking billboard of your work, whether it's good, bad, excellent. Like, that's your work, and you should take pride in everyone that sits in your chair for that reason. And that's why I don't take anyone for granted. You know, no matter what complications you have in your haircut, I'm gonna do the best and everything in my power, and the knowledge invested in me, to make sure that I give you what you're looking for, you know, to the best of my ability. And then that wraps up the back. Head into the side, finish those same steps. When I get on the edge up, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna prep it. I do I knock down the front line, and then I'm gonna go in with some holding spray. I don't really use spritz anymore, just because, in my opinion, I guess I don't know how to use it or whatever, but it just cakes up too much for me. I don't really like that. I like something that is gonna hold the hair, but not make it too cakey. And plus, I've had a few clients break out from using spritz, actually. So come back with some enhancements, straight razor. Look at that cape, man. That cape fire, man. Shout out to management for sure. I mean, look at that fade. Nothing was the same. Go back, detail a little bit more. That's with the one guard against the grain, one open. And as you guys can see, I'm just staying consistent with everything I do on that edge up. I'm staying consistent on both sides. And I mean, just look at that fade, man. Flawless. We enjoyed this. See, look, my man's even know he got a dope fade. He just paused on the phone like that. I'm gonna make that the thumbnail for this picture, man, because it's really a badass fade. But yeah, as you see, I just finished up the beard work and then putting the finishing touches on this video. But YouTube, just a cut. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate you everyone for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Turn on that notification bell to be alerted when I post videos. I got a few more bangers coming up for you. I got a what's in my station. I got a what's in my travel case. So you guys just stay tuned. I got some more tutorials for you guys on the way. Cuz Barber, we out, man.